Rock it.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. K-Man Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The K-Man Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Wednesday, the 21st day of October 2020. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we again urge you to please be extremely cautious. If you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist, if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, please ensure that you observe the rules of the road. And always remember, if you do that, that the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. And we want to send out special birthday greetings this morning to Miss Sadie Shillette. Miss Sadie lives over in Tropical Gardens, and she is 83 years old today. Of course, Miss Sadie, as you know, is married to Mr. Biggie Shillette, and he celebrated a birthday earlier this year as well. He and his twin brother, of course, we call him Little One, celebrated a birthday as well. So big happy birthday to Miss Sadie over in Tropical Gardens this morning as well. 83 years of age today. So I hope that she enjoys it. I'm sure that all of her neighbors and friends would want to extend happy birthday greetings to Miss Sadie as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. There is always someone there waiting to take your calls. Again, this morning, it is the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. And, of course, follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Before I introduce my guest this morning, I want to give you the update on the COVID testing, not nesting. I would imagine that it can probably nest as well. But for now, it's COVID testing. And this update was provided yesterday, 20th of October. And it says that the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports that 238 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on the 19th of October. All were negative. And it goes on to report that 3 symptomatic people remain in a stable condition, with 1 person admitted to the Cayman Islands Hospital requiring ventilator support, and the other 2 being in isolation with mild symptoms. So with that, I will introduce my guest, none other than MLA Mr. Ezard Miller, and of course you know that he represents the District of Northside in our Legislative Assembly, and I will ask him after he says good morning to us to comment on the COVID-19 situation and get his take on where we are and what we are to expect, as well as some comments on in terms of what's happening worldwide also. Mr. Miller, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. That's a tall order. And good morning to the listeners.
If anyone can do it, you can here.
I'm happy to be here and look forward to another interesting morning with calls from the public.
Yes.
I think that, as I've said many times, O.C., I think the government has done a good job in controlling the medical aspects and the spread of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands. The big fear that I find in the general public now is opening up. And you notice that the ones we're getting now are people who are coming back and being tested while they're in quarantine.
Yes.
So the big concern is even if we all accept that there is a certain economic need to try and get some of the tourism sector back up and opening. But I think we need to look carefully at the rest of the world. Certainly, I don't think we should be allowing anybody from the United States because, I mean, that country is in a horrendous mess with COVID-19, and they're predicting that it's even going to get worse within the next couple of weeks. But then we have a country like Canada, which seems to have managed it much better. I noticed from media reports that some of the Eastern Caribbean islands, for instance, are accepting direct flights from Canada.
Yes.
So maybe that's a place that we can look and have it under some conditions of testings and some limited quarantine. Whether we go, the Premier has said on several occasions that they're evaluating the possibility of bringing some tourists in and creating a kind of a bubble around the hotel where they're staying. But my preference right now is I would prefer to see us stick for at least until the end of this year to just allowing homeowners or condo owners who come back and can spend some money in the economy. But we have a greater opportunity to control them, because creating a bubble around the hotels includes the beach, right? And my concern there is if you give these people the opportunity to tell Caymanians they can't come on the beach, which you would have to do in such a bubble, you'll never get that permission back, right? So I think that, we have to be careful how we open back up the economy, because it wouldn't take much for us to get inundated with COVID-19. And it is obvious from the international reports and the number of deaths worldwide, including the great United States, which is supposed to have the best medical facilities and science in the world. It is a serious disease, and we need to continue here in Cayman, even though our incidences are very, very low, to be very vigilant. We need to continue to wear masks in certain environments. We need to continue to practice personal hygiene, washing your hands properly, etc., etc. and avoid large crowds and whatnot. So I think that the Caymanian public and even the expat public amongst us have reacted positively and well to the restrictions put on by government. And that's why we're in a good place that we're in. But I think the economic aspects of opening back up the economy now has to be done very carefully.
Yes. Now, two things you mentioned. One in relation to not rushing to open up, because we have seen those jurisdictions where they have rushed to do so, they have ended up, having to either reverse their decision or suffered
the consequences.
Increases. And you mentioned the success of Canada, and I believe one of the reasons for that success also is that they have closed the land borders with the United States of America, and that has made a lot of a difference. And your comments then about tourists from the United States makes a whole lot of sense.
Because even the UK bridge that we have, the UK is certainly not out of the woods with this COVID-19. And things up there are seem to be getting worse very rapidly. Some of the European countries are having spikes, etc. So I think we have to be very careful where we allow. But we used to have direct flights from Canada before the lockdown. So I believe that that's a source that we could look for some, because the inland or in-border travel within the United States is so cheap and so readily available that they're not going to say, well, we're only going to accept from Montana because they have, everybody will go to Montana to come to Cayman.
Yes.
You just got to be handled carefully.
Yeah, well, I think I have enough time to read this before we do a commercial break. This one actually came in on Monday, and I didn't get an opportunity to read it, but it is certainly appropriate considering what we're discussing now. And this person wrote and said, it is very concerning to me and others regarding the increasing positive COVID-19 cases being reported of the recent travelers who are either at the end of their quarantine or those arriving. Hopefully, those in authority are concerned as well. Many of us would like to know if the criteria has been lifted or disregarded for these arriving passengers to have been tested prior to arrival. Also, what are the procedures for the border control staff, bus drivers, etc., who come in contact with these arrivals? I wonder why the authorities are not giving a breakdown of the flight destinations the infected persons are coming from. I am pretty sure that if they were originating from the U.S., that would be reported. There are so many questions and uncertainties, and I hope and pray that we will not have to go back into lockdown again. So that person was expressing their concern.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. That we know where the flights are coming from, so it doesn't take a Philadelphia lawyer to figure it out.
Okay. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with MLA Mr. Ezra Miller will continue, so please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The Wesleyan Ministry Society saw its rise between 1837 and 1844. The central figure to the movement was Reverend James Atkins, with his opening visit in May of 1837. Now, while Reverend Atkins praised his predecessor, Reverend David Wilson, on his friendly demeanor, Reverend Atkins did not express content with his other views. In his writings to the Wesleyan Ministry House in London, Reverend Atkins wrote of the conditions of the churches and his concern of the spiritual condition of the people, saying they were living without God or hope in the world. Atkins also emphasized his contempt for the culture and physical differences which were still in place from the former masters compared to their former slaves.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like a whole glass of swanky on a hot Cayman Brack day. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tanks, A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar, Eastern Avenue, Tashara Lewis in Cayman Brack. Get your golden tickets. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. The Music Extravaganza 2020. Building bus shelters throughout the Cayman Islands, supporting over 70 Rotary community projects. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Rotary opens opportunity.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior, an 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology, and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288. Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Yeah. Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, MLA Mr. Ezard Miller. Mr. Miller, I received this concerning email on Monday. Didn't get an opportunity to share it with my audience, but I think today's an ideal time to do so because these issues are coming up in the Legislative Assembly as well. So the person wrote and said, what is a right under the prescription law? And they go on to write, with the infringement of the rights of Caymanians being a very real concern, I was pleased when I heard that our legislators would be considering a bill for a law that would secure our rights to walk the paths that were provided for us by the prescription law. Now that I have read the bill, I am more than disappointed. I am appalled. Wow. I am hoping that some legal mind in your listening audience can help me to rationalize the part of the bill that concerns me. The bill is for a law to provide for the Registrar of Lands to register a public right-of-way where there is no objection to the registration. In my view, the words, quote, where there is no objection, close quote, is an open invitation for objectors, and it nullifies the intended purpose of the law. That is, if the purpose of the law is to help Caymanians. The person goes on to write, I would not accuse our government of attempting to deceive us, nor would I suggest that they are deliberately giving land proprietors a new avenue to object to the use of a right-of-way over their land. I have to admit, though, that I need someone to explain how this bill will ensure that our rights are protected. There have been many attempts by landowners to deprive us of the use of right-of-ways. Therefore, there can be no doubt that they will object. Does this mean that I will have to go to court to fight for the right, or that the government will do so on my behalf? Is a prescriptive right a real right? Nothing is more frustrating than finding my path to the beach blocked. I had hoped to see all right-of-ways become accessible again, but this won't happen in my lifetime if this bill becomes law. So that person has clearly expressed their views on it, wanting to get a clear understanding of the bill. Has the bill been debated in the Legislative Assembly yet, Mr. Miller?
No, it is on the agenda, the order paper for the LA. But I believe the minister might be making an announcement about it, I would suspect today. The caller expresses, the writer expresses many of the concerns that I and others have with what is being constructed. First of all, let me say that I thank the government for bringing the prescription law in an effort to be able to register these right-of-ways, because I think it's becoming clearly obvious from the attitude of developers and other landowners that many of them are at risk. What I don't agree with is the way in which the government is going about registering these right-of-ways. My understanding of the prescriptive law and how not me, my grandparents and parents earned these prescriptive rights way back when. First of all, we need to understand that we now call them beach access, right? But the prescriptive right, the indefeasible right to use these was not earned as an access from the street to the beach. I can clearly remember my grandfather putting me on the back of his mule, Bill, and going down to a long round key, down the round key to go inland to his provision grounds where they used to grow sweet potatoes and where they used to have grass, beasts, and cattle and stuff like that.
Okay.
So most of these prescriptive right-of-ways to the beach were earned as access to hinterland, not the other way around. Now, the way I read the prescription law, it says that, and I don't have it here, I would quote directly from it, so I'm paraphrasing, so to speak. But once these tracts or right-of-ways had been used for 20 years by the general public, at the 20-year anniversary of using those uninhibited, unobjected to, nobody said you couldn't do it. Everybody agreed that this was where we were going to get to Round Key land, for instance, or Bowses or Brinkleys. I have earned the indefeasible right. There is a section, I think it's in section 9, that says something about, and what the amendment the government is bringing now, is they are allowing current landowners, and I would hazard a guess that there is not a single one of these right-of-ways where the current landowner was the landowner when the prescriptive right was earned, right? But they are now allowing the current landowners to object to the registration of. I think that puts many of these things in jeopardy, because once they have the right to object, you can be assured, as the writer said, they will object, and they will tie this thing up in court all the way to the Privy Council for years and years and years. And remember that there's a section in the land registry law where I think some of these things can be removed if you can demonstrate through affidavits that they're no longer being used. Right? So there's a double-edged sword here. My position is simple. Any of these prescriptive rights that, and you will recall during cadastral survey, which is the foundation on which all real estate sells and has value in Cayman. During that process of cadastral survey, many of these right-of-ways, 6-foot paths we call them, were agreed by the current landowners, right, that this was a way to get to your property and everything else. And many of them are on the map. If you go, I went to land registry and got a map of my electoral district. They charged me $185 for it. I paid it because it was worth it to me. At a bare minimum, all of those right-of-ways that appear on those maps and were agreed during the cadastral survey by the landowners at the time should be registered automatically.
Okay. I'm going to interrupt you there. So we go to headline news, 8 o'clock news, sorry, not headline news. When we return, the conversation with Mr. MLA, Mr. Ezra Miller will continue. We will continue to talk about this prescription law as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
At Foster's Pharmacy, our goal is to provide a professional yet personalized service that's both value-led and convenient for you. We're located at Foster's Camana Bay and airport locations, so you can drop off and collect your prescriptions, vitamins, and supplements whilst you shop. In a hurry, WhatsApp your prescription and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival. Our experienced team of pharmacists can also assist you with blood glucose testing, medication disposal, and Sister Island deliveries. For more, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that between May and August 31st, in support of the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, the Chamber Pension Plan leveraged IT and human resources to successfully review over 16,000 member applications, approve over 12,000 applications, and paid over CI $130 million to our plan members. We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Emergency Withdrawal Program, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The annual Poppy campaign is underway. CNDTV's Donna Bush reports.
Well, with Remembrance Day just weeks away, the annual Poppy campaign has started. His Excellency Governor Martin Roper received the first poppy, as is customary, last Friday. The Cayman Islands Veterans Association hold the Poppy Appeal each year as a symbol of recognizing veterans and the ability to offer support to local veterans and their families. Now, residents have the chance to purchase poppies through to Remembrance Day, which is on the 9th of November. If you would like a poppy or poppies, you can call 916-0701. And for donations, you can give them a call at 926-5189.
The funds raised support veterans and their families with challenges such as medical expenses. And job seekers and volunteers are invited to explore current and upcoming vacancies within Cayman's largest healthcare system this Friday. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The Health Services Authority is hosting a job fair from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Friday in the Hibiscus Conference Room at the Cayman Islands Hospital. The HSA says there are some clinical and non-clinical roles available across all skill levels. The posts are across a range of departments, from environmental services to facilities management to nursing and emergency medical services. HSA will have representatives on hand from all departments across the organization who can offer insight into potential careers now and later. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
Attendees are reminded that masks are mandatory throughout all HSA facilities. Potential job seekers are encouraged to download and complete an HSA application form in advance by visiting hsa.ky. For more information, you can also email info@hsa.ky. Several Caribbean community CARICOM education ministers have, quote, unanimously proposed that the Barbados-based Caribbean Examinations Council commit to a total waiver of fees for reviews of the 2020 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations exams. A statement issued by the Ministry of Education in Trinidad said that Portfolio Minister Dr. Nyan Gadsby-Dolly joined her counterpart from several countries, including Jamaica, Barbados, Antigua, and Guyana, for discussions with CXC Registrar Dr. Wayne Wesley on Monday. The ministry said that Monday's meeting lasted 3 hours and discussed in some detail several matters, such as the extension of the deadline for queries beyond October 23rd to November 6th, a reduction in the costs for requests of reviews for 2020, and a reversion to the pre-January 2018 position in practice, where a review includes a remark, not simply a recalculation of the candidate's score. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed for understanding and calm a day after the shooting of protesters in Lagos. He urged Nigerians to be patient while police reforms took place. However, he made no direct mention of Tuesday's violence in Lagos. The army denied it was involved in the shooting, but the governor of Lagos told the BBC that the military was present. Libya's warring parties have agreed to reopen land and air routes between the two halves of the country that they control. The agreement was reached at UN-sponsored peace talks between the government in Tripoli and its rival, General Khalifa Haftar. At least 15 people, mostly women, have been killed in a stampede in eastern Afghanistan. It happened at a football stadium in Jalalabad, where thousands had gathered to apply for visas from the Pakistani consulate. More than 100 people have died in some of the most severe flooding in Vietnam in decades. 22 soldiers were killed when they were engulfed in a huge landslide. 7 people arrested in France over the beheading of a teacher are being questioned by an anti-terrorist magistrate. They include a 48-year-old father who claimed his daughter had been upset by a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad shown by the teacher in class. Police say she wasn't in the lesson. The Czech government has announced a return to lockdown from Thursday, the latest move in Europe to halt a second wave of the coronavirus. Neighbouring Poland is to restart homeschooling children in their early teens. And police in Berlin say that about 70 works of art on display in the city's museums have been damaged after being sprayed with an oily liquid. They say they're investigating the attacks, which are said to have left stains on works ranging from ancient Egyptian sarcophagi to paintings. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm Evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing. So come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God at a time.
Have you heard the call? We'll be in Central Boddingtown by the post office October the 21st and 22nd.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
Nominations are now open for the 2021 National Heroes Day Awards for Seafaring Heritage. Nomination forms are available from the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing, Government Administration Building in Georgetown, Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association in Prospect, Grand Cayman, the District Administration, Government Administration Building in Cayman Brac, and online at celebratecayman.ky, the Ministry of Health.gov.ky. Deadline for submissions is Saturday, 31st October 2020. Only completed nominations received by the deadline will be considered.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your latest weather. Present temperature 81 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like about 88. Winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour, similar with wind gusts. Relative humidity 83%. Last night's low was at 77. Barometric pressure at 29.80 and rising. A trough across the western Caribbean is expected to produce scattered showers and thunder across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area, which are moving towards the northwest. And the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Hurricane Epsilon, which is currently 450 miles east-southeast of Bermuda and poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. Our forecast for today, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and some thunder. Showers may become locally heavy at times, leading to possible flooding of low-lying areas. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast, 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Looking at tonight, cloudy skies, 60% chance of showers and some thunder. Showers may become locally heavy at times, leading to possible flooding of low-lying areas, especially in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east to southeast, 5 to 10 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're presently in a low tide. High tide will be at 2:12 this afternoon. It's going to be low at 8:58 tonight. For tomorrow, high tide is at 1:46 a.m., low at 8:36 a.m., high at 3:58 p.m., and low at 10:29 p.m. Your sunset this evening is at 5:57. Sunrise for tomorrow is at 6:22. And the outlook through Friday morning is for continued cloudiness with scattered showers as the trough lingers over the northwest Caribbean. That's your latest weather right here on your Radio Cayman.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking. Change your life. Developing the giver's mindset can bolster any relationship.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, some of the biggest challenges in relationships come from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. They're trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good. In reality, the only way a relationship will last is if you see a relationship as a place that you go to give and not only a place that you go to take.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your traffic situations. Of course, coming out of the east, good flow of traffic. Coming off of the east-west arterial via Crichton Boulevard as well. And looking at the roundabout just outside Kingsport Center, traffic heading onto the Little Pearson Highway is a bit slow. And of course, will be that way until you get to either Agnes Way or Bobby Thompson Way. It'll continue to crawl until you get past the traffic lights. And then a good flow of traffic on to Huldah Avenue and wherever you're headed off to. Of course, a little bit of traffic as well, similar on the North Sound Road if you're coming off the Butterfield roundabout, heading in the eastern direction. And traffic heading in a northern direction there as well, onto the Esley Tibbetts Highway. Traffic coming off the Esley Tibbetts Highway, similar, very sluggish at the moment. Godfrey Nixon Way busy, similar with the Eastern Avenue, and most streets in Georgetown getting busy. North Church Street, South Church Street, good flow of traffic there as well. A little bit of traffic just to be after Lobster Pot. A little bit. But of course, we'll move along good. Little traffic hot spots here and there. It's expected as you commute this morning time. Buckle up, stay safe. And of course, your traffic report brought to you by our friends at Subway.
It's the return of the sub of the day. Come into any Subway location and order the 6-inch sub of the day for only $3.50, or get the full meal for just $6.
Wow, a meal in Cayman for only $6?
Yes, and it's never been easier to get your favorites from Subway. Just stop in, message WhatsApp at 929-4658, order online, or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. Check out their Facebook or Instagram for the latest store hours. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like a whole glass of swanky on a hot Cayman Brack day. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tanks, A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar, Eastern Avenue, Tashara Lewis in Cayman Brack. Get your golden tickets. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. The Music Extravaganza 2020. Building bus shelters throughout the Cayman Islands, supporting over 70 Rotary community projects. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Rotary opens opportunity.
Registration is ongoing for the Department of Tourism Pride webinars. The tourism industry is ever evolving. Stay up to date with the industry standards, best practices, and ensure you are the best ambassador for Cayman. The Pride webinars offer customer service, business acumen, history, and cultural classes. Webinars will run on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. To see the full schedule and register, visit pride.ourcayman.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, MLA Mr. Ezard Miller. Mr. Miller, back to you, sir.
Yeah,
we
but
had
we
to
were talking
interrupt you
about
before we went to the 8 o'clock news.
We were talking about the interpretation and the changes to the prescription law.
Yes.
But to cut a long story short, what they're now saying is that because these were not registered, and when the person who now owns the land bought the land and went to the land registry on a ownership, the land register document, that government guarantees that that document is correct and you own it. Because this encumbrance of a right-of-way is not registered on the property, to go and register it now, right, is unfair to them. I don't see it that way. Like I said earlier, I think we should go back to what happened in cadastral survey. The other concern I have is we're now going to allow current landowners to raise and object to things that were agreed during the cadastral survey process. Are we opening up a can of worms that I can clean my own rumpine and go and contest the ownership of rumpine, right? Because my grandfather and him walked on it, and etc. So I think that's a dangerous road to go down. My position is that I've filed an amendment to try and achieve this. Like I said, I think we should remove that B, which says the landowner has the right to object before it can be registered. Right? I don't think that should be a consideration for the registration process.
Okay.
Go back to all of those that are currently mapped should be registered automatically. The landowner wants to object, then he can tell the government to court. But make it be the onus on them, not on my country to spend public money. All of those that had affidavits delivered in 2001 that are not currently mapped, right, should also be registered automatically before 2000, you see, so that we know that the prescriptive right was on way back, right? Then, and you see, I am of the view, and I'm not a lawyer, so, I just look at these things practically and how to get them. Those right-of-ways were agreed during cadastral survey by the landowners at that time, because this does not only affect the beach access, this affects all right-of-ways. Now, I went to the Department of Land Registry and had them produce a map for me to map them all for Northside.
Mm-hmm.
This includes all those 6 paths going inland. Some part of the Dart conglomerate bought some land at the end of further road in Northside, right? And I drove down there, and there's a path going through there, and they had put up a gate and said no trespassing, right? So I raised some cane, and I see the gate is now open, right? So all of those inland, that whole spider web of 6 foot rights path are all at risk. And if I can object, it means that even though you might have it going through somebody else's land behind me, if you can't come through mine, you can't get to you,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we have, and I think that's the way to do it. And if the developer wants to, or the current landowner wants to object, then he can take the registrar to court, and the government will defend the rights of Caymanians, right? But I don't think the onus should be on us, 1, to notify them, right? So they can go and object to it. 2, that the registrar is going to refer it to the Grand Court, right? For the cost to be the people's.
The borne by the people.
Right, because they're going to be the majority of the landowners, right, are not likely to object. The objections are going to come from the foreign developers and foreign landowners who don't want us on their beach, right? The Caymanians understand why these things are there. And even if you were the 3rd generation of the owner who agreed that this would be a right-of-way and allowed the prescriptive right to be earned and make it indefeasible, you understand what it's about. But I want to bring it up because that's not all they're doing,
Okay.
We have a draft development and planning amendment regulations 2020. And buried in this, towards the back, is a little phrase, section 11 of these draft amendments says, titled Repeal of Regulation 32, Public's Right of Way, right, in hotel tourism zones. Now remember now that in a development that is more than 200 feet, you have to leave a 6 foot right of way on the planning. The principal regulations are amended by appealing Regulation 32. So there is
repealing
the requirement that planning can put on you.
Okay.
To say you have to leave the 6 foot right away. Now they're sneaking a portion of it back in on the tourism, right? Which allows planning to say you have to leave it, right? But what that means is that all of these multi-millionaires that are coming down here and buying 200-300 foot of beach to build these massive houses on don't have to leave no right away. You see,
and these regulations they're coming before the legislature.
Oh yeah,
these
are. He has to move. The minister has to move a motion for these to be accepted.
Okay.
Now I've also filed 7 amendments to this because the other thing that we do is we say that in a residential zone, we got all kind of requirements, lot size, how many apartments you can build, minimum lot size, etc., etc. But the last few words says, shall be at the discretion of the authority. Now, what does that mean? That means that the CPA, the Central Planning Authority, can say that you're not required to do any of the above. Now, who have been saying about that? The average Cayman like me and you don't even know that discretion exists. And we're not being told, so there's been no public discussion of this. No public discussion of this is the public meeting I had in outside. And what happened in LA, because I'm going to speak extensively on this. Every issue I have with construction and development in Northside is because the Central Planning Authority waived or used their discretion to remove a requirement, whether it's a setback from the sea, whether it's a side setback or a setback from the street, right? We're having now to go through a whole elaborate legal process on Waterkey Road because nobody in planning went up there and saw that these people's house was 20 feet from the road, and that their garden was so many feet from the road.
Yes, yes.
Again, one of the amendments I'm filing is that it says that the house must be set back 20 feet, right? Another little thing that they're doing to affect us common Caymanians, boundaries and building footprint are set out on the ground by a licensed land surveyor. So where you could go now in your little contractor and you could go yourself and mark out your house.
Yes.
You can't do that.
Wow.
No more, right?
Wow.
That's expense to Caymanians.
Additional costs. Yes.
No, that one of the things that I fought for was particularly in developments along the beach is that the high water mark had to be resent and it had to be accepted by Lands and Survey. And I read about that because of what happened at Rum Point, where I went there and put my 100-foot tape on the corner of the building, walked out to 75 feet, and I had to look at the sky so water didn't run in my mouth. That was the high water mark, right?
Yeah.
So the water was above my shoulders. And I'm not tall, but I'm not short. That's nearly 6 feet. Now, if you want to build one little house on your piece of land, right, you have to get a licensed land surveyor to come and lay out the footprint of the building.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
No, I think that should be for all these 10-story buildings. They're building they're setting up Georgetown, right? So I have filed an amendment to remove all this discretion because all of the rich people in this country, whether Cayman or otherwise, their lawyers and their architects will tell them that this exists.
Yes.
And they're the ones who are going to get it. The common little fella, right? I have single parents raising 2-3 children who have struggled, managed to get a little house, want to put on, because remember we used to have a situation where any Caymanian could add 10%
yes.
onto the house without planning permission, right? Wanted to put on a little patio 8 foot by 10 foot, right? And remember, Mr. Kurt Tibbetts came down to the LA in 2014 and removed that ability that Caymanians had, where you could add 10% without planning permission, now requiring it to have planning permission. And he wanted to attach a fee to it. Me and Mr. McLean fought him so much down to that he agreed. He wouldn't agree to not remove it. He still removed it, but he said he did not pay no fee. And he convinced us that if I wanted to add a little piece onto my house, I could do the drawing myself. And have the measurements and make sure the setbacks are there and just submit it and it'll be approved. No fee, no nothing. Since that, they have made changes that only architects or certain agents can submit plans. And I can tell you from my personal experience who's trying to put, who wants to add an 8-foot patio onto the back of a house that I am remodeling and thing. And they want plans of the whole house. So I had to go, the architect had to come out there and take actual measurements, right? And show the whole interior structure of the house, all the setbacks and everything else, right? It's going to cost me hundreds of dollars, right? So the other amendment I've filed in this because, we can only do the work on before us, right?
Right.
But, there's ways, if once you decide you're willing to put in the work, you can find a way to do what you want to do. So in clause 2, right, they are bringing in the ability of, because they're bringing some amendments to the law itself, right? Clause 2 of the law, they talk about planning permission. So I have filed an amendment to the planning law to bring back the section that was removed, which will allow Caymanians to add 10% onto the house once it's within it's a single-story house and stuff like that, right? So we'll see whether the government will support that or not.
Okay.
But I can do my best during the debate and the committee stage to convince them that if they want, that's the right thing to do.
Right. Excellent. We have to take a commercial break. We do have a caller on hold as well. One of our listeners wrote and said that writer has stated excellent points with regards to beach access, and I agree with their concerns as well. So we're going to take a break. The caller who's on the line, please hold on there. Short commercial break. As soon as we return, we will take your call.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
JN Money Card. When my land up a JN, me get the money card with them. Just show them your ID and give them your TRN. Go and use at the ATM or swipe instead then. And when you need more cash, and make your family send it in a flash. From abroad to card, get the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. JN Money Card only available and used in Jamaica. Call 345-945-2014 for details.
Seafaring is an integral part of the Cayman Islands' history, its identity, society, economy, and development. The 2021 National Heroes Day, celebrating our seafaring heritage, recognizes the outstanding contributions made by our seafarers. It highlights the inspiring stories of our seafaring heritage and celebrates the industry that is firmly embedded in the history and culture of the Cayman Islands. Nomination forms are available online at celebratecayman.ky and ministryofhealth.gov.ky. Submit your nomination for National Heroes Day by Saturday, 31st October 2020.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, MLA Mr. Ezra Miller. Just want to remind you, Mr. Miller is going to leave around about 9 o'clock this morning because, of course, the LA will resume today. One of our listeners said they weren't sure what we were talking about this morning, but they just wanted to give a big shout out to DVDL, Department of Vehicle and Driver's License, for the hard work that they are doing. 2 staff members in particular. They are Mrs. Melrose and Mrs. Ashlyn. They say there are others as well that make up the team, and they continue to do such good work. So a big shout out to DVDL, in particular, Miss Melrose and Miss Ashlyn, and not wanting to leave out all of the other staff members as well, as they all do a great job. Over to you, Mr. Miller.
No, we were talking about the changes to the development and planning regulations.
Yes.
And one of the things that, OC, I'm a big proponent of participatory democracy, right? And when we're doing these kind of things, our people really need, there needs to be more public discourse.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the ministers need to accept that part of their responsibility as elected representatives is to inform not only their constituency of what is being done, but the wider Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big changes that is coming in this regulation is they're changing the zoning, general commercial zones into Georgetown. They're creating 4 general commercial zones in Georgetown. I think there's 2 now, right? One of these is Georgetown GC1, where they're introducing the ability to build 10-story buildings, right? Now, it's hard to read this map, but it goes from probably just south of Ugland Building on the Maples and Calder office space on North, South Church Street, north to Mary Street. And it follows Rockhole Road, round the back there, all the way back to the Estella Tibbetts Highway.
Oh, okay.
And there's a straight zone. I was wondering why that one was so straight, but that is because of the approach path to the airport. That they're separate on that, right?
Yes.
They're making all of that 10-story. Now, I have talked to a few of the people in these areas, right? My generation out there. None of them know nothing about this. Now, some of these people who are very comfortable in these little areas that
where
they
they're
grew
living,
up in and they spent their whole life there,
no.
have no intention of wanting to sell it or leave, right? So we had to go look at a prescription line and make sure we cover these people right to sun and air, to light and air, because that's covered in the prescription law too. Because if you have 2 10-story buildings on each side of your little 1-story dwelling house, you're only going to get sunlight from 11:30 in the morning till 1:30.
And that's one way of pressuring you to leave, to sell and leave.
Of course. Yes. Then the waterfront area, which again is from what you and I call Copper Boilers Road, right? North again to just beyond Mary Street, right? On the land side of North and South Church and Harbour Drive, right? Is 7 stories, right? Then from Mary Street north to, it's hard to read this map, right? But it looks like it goes close to, I think it's Borden Road that goes across to the
from
to Eastern Avenue,
Eastern
right?
Avenue to North
looks
Church
like
Street.
Look like it goes some in that region, right? And that goes all the way back now to just on the other side of Eastern Avenue, right? And they are going to be 5 stories. The actual waterfront area, which is on the seaside of South Church Street, North Church Street, and Harbour Drive, is still going to be 2 stories. But this thing there should have been maps, published full-page maps and the compass showing these people what is being done,
and
right?
who's going to be affected,
I mean, I'm telling you, you look at it, it's difficult to read the areas that are being covered to figure out where you're going to fall. And this is major change.
And it goes again to you talk about development in the Cayman Islands, but the big question is development for whom? Because like you have mentioned, those people who still have their homes in that area, what are you going to do with them? You know, if they stay there, they're going to be uncomfortable, and then you're going to take them and you're going to move them out, to someplace else. Look at all the guest houses and stuff like that are in that area. What's going to happen with those? Are we going to take those then and force them out into the suburbs, into those areas that we're trying to ensure that you try to reduce the density in those areas, but we're going to increase it as a result. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Good morning, Mr. Ezard.
Morning, sir.
You're playing a symphony there this morning to my ears. And you're talking about the prescription law and the registered land law, and of course the way that intertwines with the planning law, and the abuses that have taken place by that board that they call the CPA and the development and the planning department itself, because as you know, they have illegally allowed the blocking of vehicular right-of-ways on the West Bay Road and then Royal Palms, Coral Caymanian, and in front of the Kimpton. And as you know, they're trying to change the law to legalize the illegality of what they've done. And I'm glad that you're mentioning about the right to light and air, which is in Section 3 of the prescription law. And you are so right, Mr. O.C. and Ezard, when you're talking about the imposition and at the behest of certain developers and certain multi-billionaires in this country that control our government, and they betray us and listen to them. They have all their meetings with them. They meet with them, and, oh, yes, we want to get this, get their parties, get to their cocktail parties. But when it comes to the people in Rockhole, that same group that I helped to have established in early 2000s has betrayed the Cayman Islands people.
Which group that is?
The PPM group that's in government. So that's exactly who I mean.
No, I didn't want the public to be confused. I didn't want the public to be confused with the concerned citizens.
Now, what has happened there and what they want to happen, and they probably will because they have the majority, so they do what they do in our so-called Westminster system, partial Westminster, because not even full Westminster. They only pick the parts that can abuse the people. What you're talking there, Mr. O.C. and Mr. MLA Miller, is so true. And in this amendment that they were proposing or are proposing in the bill to do, so they want to change, they're totally ignoring the registration of the right to light and air. This is, I mean, the abuse that our government is doing on our people at the behest of their sponsors and their controllers. It gets more amazing every day. And I get more and feeling more and more betrayed every day. I thought I'd reached it, but no, some of this, I didn't know about all this development, what they were doing until I attended your meeting. And thank you for having your meeting in Northside of your group, because it was at that meeting it came to my attention what they're doing in secret in the planning law without communicating with the people that the electors that put them in power. And I wish you every success, sir, to fight against this additional abuse that's coming to us through planning. And the two of you, you're hitting on 16 cylinders on an 8-cylinder engine this morning.
Well, I had done I filed 7 amendments to this development and planning regulations and 1 amendment to the development and planning law. And we'll see whether they accept it or not. But, I'm not good. I'm not really too good at persuading, but I work on it.
Well, you see, that's why they bring the Royal Cayman Islands Army now, you see, to trying to intimidate us.
Well, they're not going to intimidate me.
Which I'm 1,000% against that for a lot of fundamental reasons why I won't say. By the way, have the two of you seen what's going on in Jamaica with the fighting between the police and the JDF, fighting over who's going to be the kingpin in the drug business in Jamaica?
Yes. Okay. It's amazing.
And that's what we're going to have here, because now you have competing forces. But what the fun is going to be is that both the Royal Cayman Islands Army and the police is controlled by the English. So which factor is going to win in that fight? Because in Jamaica, the head of the police is Jamaican, whereas the head of the army is actually controlled in Jamaica by the British, by UK, at the top. The people don't realize it, but that's how it goes. And so it's going to be interesting here in Cayman if this so-called defense force, no, it's not no defense force, that's an oppression force to try and keep Caymanians down. And then they haven't told us lying over that whole thing. But let me get back to...
well, just to let you know that I also filed 32 amendments to that bill, and if you listen to my debate, you know that I'm not supporting it unless they accept some of these amendments.
I heard what you say, but I would prefer if you didn't support it at all. We don't need it. We do not need it. We already have a Coast Guard that's trying to get functioning. You're already trying to get the police and customs and immigration together. Customs is in shambles because the police are taking it over. Ex-police officers are taking it over. The morale in customs section of that border control is falling so fast. I talk to them. I know them. You had some wonderful officers there that did good job. And some of the nonsense that's going on in the police is coming over and destroying the morale. And now you're going to have another force And, you know, we have gone plumb puckered crazy in this little island with governance, with what we're doing. Back to immigration.
We're regulating our own people out of existence, and our regulations are designed to help non-Caymanians.
Oh, definitely. None of this stuff is for Caymanians. Not a thing. And you got to learn to say no and say, anyway, just take it, slice it, or dice it. The answer is no, we don't need it. That's where you got to get to. You can't play games with these people. So back to what they trying to do with these prescription and registered land law, and then tying that in with what they're giving the authority to the planning to do now. You know, it's really to the point where you cannot trust government for one thing, because it's always some agenda that is anti-Caymanian with nearly everything that they do. I would like to see positiveness. I would like to know that, like, when there's a raging storm in the world, that I can go to a place that I could call my Cayman Islands government.
You better come and join the People's Party then, Billy. Help me build that so we can make some changes.
I would really like to feel that we had a government that was interested in the Caymanian people.
Well, we have an opportunity in May next year. We got to make sure we do it.
So I am hoping that you are successful in there to show people. As you know, there's been a lot of work going in as to how terrible the prescription law and registered land law is. We have to wait and see what happens with that. But it is so anti-Caymanian. Mr. O.C., the place where you all used to camp down there north of the Kimpton, that whole area, they're trying to give that to the developer of the Kimpton. They've isolated you from driving there, but not walking there. They've removed your driving rights that you had with a registered vehicular right of way. And they have a planning department that allow them to block it. We need to criminalize anybody that blocks a right of way, because the individual should not be left to have to defend a right of way that they have. Because, as you know, under the common assault law, if I look at somebody with my eyes crossed, he can say, I put him in fear, and the wretched police will charge you for common assault because you looked at somebody with an angry face and they said they felt scared. Literally, that is what has occurred.
Okay.
And there are cases in court.
Yeah.
God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biller. For that, we have to take a quick commercial break because we've gone over the time and we still have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return, so please stay tuned.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value. Integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
No, man. My bill seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Foam Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold. Let's take the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Mark, how are you doing?
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record, and Mr. Ezra Miller.
Yes, sir.
You know, thanks for the information, Mr. Miller, but it's something that goes back several years now. When I was in the NRA, the proposal came with the road structure for this new development, and I was asking why you are going to displace all those people in Rockhold. Why are you going to build highways through their community? What we should be doing is that we should be enhancing those communities, improving them, so that people can have a decent life. That's on the outskirts of Georgetown. But it doesn't surprise me, gentlemen, because this thing has been going on for a long time. That's what I say. What I say. A lot of black people didn't like me because what I said. I say what they're going to do. They're going to push you in the morass, and they're going to have an area where you will live, and you will soon probably have to have a pass, like in South Africa, to come in certain areas, and people ridicule me and things like that and so forth. But the problem that we have in this country, gentlemen, is the lack of emancipation, and Bob Marley and who took that from Marcus Garvey said it very well. You have to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. If you have a fighter and you're promoting him for a championship fight, and you buy the best gloves for him, and you buy the best training sessions for him, and you pay for the best trainers for him, and you put him in the ring, but he doesn't want to win the championship, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what's happened with the Cayman people. And somebody sent me a tape this morning. I think it was Lord Graham sent me a tape this morning, and it was a lecture from a woman from Barbados, a minister from Barbados, and she was saying that the late Prime Minister of Barbados said that the West Indian people have to stop thinking that a good fish fry in oysters or in oysters, a good fish that is less than Kentucky Fried Chicken. They have to stop thinking that a Kentucky Fried Chicken dinner in Cayman is superior to good old fish fry in Northside or in East End.
Right.
And they have to stop thinking that the buns that they have in Kentucky Fried Chicken with all the sugar in it that entices you and addicts you to Kentucky Fried Chicken is better than the festivals that you can get in East End and the North Side. That's what that is one thing that's wrong with us, and people in Cayman have to start to understand that it's better to buy an education for your children for $30,000 than to buy a new car. And driving that, because from the time you drive it off the lot, you'll lose 20%. And the people who selling to you, they have their insurance company, they have their loan company, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to pay for that whether you crash it or not. People have to start having their priorities, but when you start talking about these things, you're not going to get elected. You're not going to get elected in Cayman when you start talking about those things, because people think it's too hard to emancipate themselves, and people what they have done now to the Caymanian people over the last 2 decades, they have reduced their economic independence. They have reduced their culture. They have reduced it to nothing. It doesn't mean a thing. There's no money in the social bank, not even the economic bank now. When they have most Caymanians, not so most, but they have a lot of hundreds of Caymanians now, maybe the thousands of Caymanians now, as handouts like what the Americans and the Canadians did to the Indians. They took them off their fruitful land and put them on places where they couldn't grow anything, and then have them dependent on them, and then they give them handouts. They become drunks on the streets, all about in Vancouver and all about in Canada and so forth. This is what is happening to the country, and you're not going to get elected unless you give them things now like what the other people give them. So all these people, all these other people are putting up their 50, 10, 5-story buildings and start wrecking the neighborhoods. That is what their intentions are. Their intentions is a new world order, a new Cayman order. They do not see especially the black people in Cayman, where they want to put these 5 and 10-story buildings. They don't see them in the picture. They will push them someplace else, and because they have no voice, they have no people who can emancipate them. All the people that are elected, except you, Mr. Miller, probably, and a few other people that are trying to emancipate you people. Most elected people are going with the plan and are doing it just to keep the job, to get elected, because some of them couldn't work any place else in the world. And that's the problem with us. And that's the problem with us, gentlemen. And it's a problem. The problem is not from the other side who's doing this with the 55 and 10-story building. The problem is the ordinary people who can't emancipate themselves, and their children are worth nothing. Their education is worth nothing because they have none. And this is the problem, that when you start to tell them this, they get against you. And like they said, like when I went into some of the neighborhoods and start to improve the neighborhoods, they say I think I white because those principles that I stand for and the improvement and to educate, they think that's white. That's only for white people, and if you adopt those principles, that's what you want to be. You know, when I was traveling around the world, I learned a lot of things from different nationalities. When I came to Canada and I saw the Italians and the Jews and the Indians and the Sikhs and all them, they come to the country and they work very hard. Even here in Cayman, I see the foreign people come work very hard. How can you come from Thailand or from Philippines, and in 5 years you can own a house in South Sound or something like that? And something has to be wrong with our people that they can't do the same thing. How is it that you can have all these other people getting together and putting up their insurance company, insuring your car and taking in the money when 5 and 6 Caymanians could do the same thing? I just don't understand. I don't understand all that. It's so simple to me that why say that a few Caymanians don't start their own bank or their own development company where they can build the apartments and own the money and rent their own people? Why is it that 5 or 6 or 10 Caymanians can't get together and build their own hotel in the Eastern District and rent and hire their own people? I just don't understand. It's because what they have done, they have told us that's not something that we should be doing, and that it should be for the other people on the other side. Yep. It's all, my friends, it's all our fault. It's all our fault.
Doc, I want to thank you very much. We've reached the top of the hour, 9 o'clock news. I want to thank you very much for that. Mr. Miller, we do still have one caller on hold, so I'm going to ask you if you would certainly entertain taking that caller after we headline news. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 238 COVID-19 test results on Tuesday. All came back negative. In the meantime, there are now 3 people considered symptomatic with COVID-19. 2 of them are in isolation. The third was admitted to the Cayman Islands Hospital and is on a ventilator. Scientists now say old age and having a wide range of initial symptoms increases the risk of, quote, long COVID. The study, seen by the BBC, estimates 1 in 20 people are sick for at least 8 weeks. The research at King's College London also showed being female, excess weight, and asthma raise the risk. The aim is to develop an early warning signal that can identify patients who need extra care or who might benefit from early treatment. And a Kentucky grand juror has said the jury was not given the opportunity to consider homicide charges in the killing of Breonna Taylor by police. The 26-year-old hospital worker was shot 6 times when police forced their way into her apartment in Louisville, Kentucky on March 13th. Last month, the jury recommended no homicide charges against the officers. In the statement, they said the state's attorney general only presented to the jury wanton endangerment charges to be considered against 1 officer. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Mr. Miller has agreed to stay a little bit longer to accommodate the other caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
And my respect to you, Mr. Miller.
Morning, sir. Morning. Good, man. Good to hear from you. You doing all right?
Always nice to hear you on the radio. My question is this morning, why are we having this discussion about the beach access? You know, this makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. We should not be having this discussion in 2020, right? I mean, it's totally out of order.
Agreed.
Because you don't take a cook and put him out there to do banking, right? And this thing in this country needs to stop. And it's all because Mr. Nice Guy is getting elected. No knowledge of experience, no level of experience, nothing to run a country. This kind of thing needs to stop. And if it don't stop, I notice we got a few newcomers now that is running for the next election. What level of experience do these people have to run a country? This thing needs to stop, because if you go and apply for a banker's job or whatever job, a plumber's job or a cook's job, you have to have a level of experience with it. You can't just go and say, you know, well, the people like me, I can run to become a politician to run a country. This cannot be accepted anymore. It needs to stop. We need hard-on, seasoned people, lawyers like Steve McField, that has more knowledge than the whole country put together to run this country, right? This is what we need. And like yourself, Mr. Miller, I'm not picking on anybody, but
I understand. No, I agree. Makes a lot of sense, sir. Makes a lot of sense.
And what you said earlier about giving these people a right to dispute their land if they want to take it to court and fight it, I mean, that is totally ludicrous. You don't give these people these things because you know what they're going to do with it.
Exactly.
Right? We are the government of this country. We just go there and say, look, this is how it's going to be. Take it or leave it. It needs to stop. I mean, you know, sometimes it's very difficult to hear what is going on. And, you know, I respect OC so much for bringing all of this to us and letting us know what is happening in this country.
Thank you.
But, you know, it's difficult sometimes to just listen. You have to get involved. And I cannot just sit by anymore and not get involved, because what I see happening in this country, it's taking us down the wrong path. We're going to hell. So, I mean, get responsible politicians. Do what is right for this country.
Okay.
Well said, sir. Well said.
That's my 2 cents for the morning.
Thank you.
That's more 2 cents, or that's at least $1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. One more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, O.C. Good morning, Mr. Miller.
How are you doing, sir?
Clean. I just felt like I should call in to express my views on a few things that I've been listening to. Mr. Miller, first of all, I want to say to you that I'm personally grateful for the positions that you take, which is normally beaten down or fought down by the majority. But at least you're consistent, you don't change. And I think that one of your greatest attributes is the fact that you stand for Cayman and the people.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that about a number of your colleagues that are presently in the legislature, because for some unknown reason they seem to be intimidated, afraid, or cowardly, or whatever one might say. But the things that are happening, and particularly what you two gentlemen have been discussing this morning in the matter of changes to the roads and rezoning. I mean, how could the government believe they can proceed now to have a bill before the House for the legislators to vote on when there has not been a major dissemination of this information by pictures, graphics of what is happening? I mean, when they talk about putting buildings, 10-story buildings, have people tried in their minds to image what that means in areas that are now houses? Mm-hmm. What it's called in fancy language is gentrification. They are putting those buildings there, and those people who have their homes from generations and normally are poor people, but they have the land, they are going to be removed. And where do they go from there? Because what they will pay them for the land quite likely may not put them in a position where they can go to get another house or another area of the island, which lands are skyrocketed as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's truly alarming, and it should be concerning to every single person in this country who believes that this is their country. And my friend there, Attorney Steve McField, he certainly put it into very vivid language as well, and he's right. Mm-hmm. I mean, when will there be, and I hope, Mr. Miller, that you can attract people with you in your political effort. The only thing I would say to you is press the button and start storming right now to get people who are capable, who have an understanding like yourself, who perhaps even have served in government, mm-hmm. to form a party, to form a group, to get a majority in the House, to make a difference, because this country is in a problem. There's only one God now, and that his name is Money.
Yep.
And that is falling in the hands of a number of our own who are super rich.
Mm-hmm.
But like Steve has said, why don't they use the tens of millions that they have, build apartments, build hotels, do the same thing that they are sitting on their behinds and waiting for the foreigner to come to bring his money, where he's saving millions in taxes, and where he comes, like on our beaches, and says, well, you know, I own this beach, you can't walk across my beach. It's scary. It really is scary. Anyway, gentlemen, I just thought...
Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it. Well, look in, those people say, watch this space. It's a coming. It's a coming.
Good.
It's a coming.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Paul, how many calls do we have? Two? Okay.
I'm not gonna run from the callers because it would take an absolute miracle for the LA to start on time.
Okay.
But
well,
I
we're
have
gonna
some other work I need to get down to do. But
sure. Well,
because
we'll take our next break at 9:15.
Right.
So we have about 6 minutes. Hopefully, we can cover the two calls in 6 minutes. First caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning, Lord. How art thou?
Yeah, and good morning to the member there from Northside. Always a pleasure listening to him.
Good morning, sir.
I like the strength that he brings to the airways. And I called to support what the doctor said, Dr. McField. But most of all, I really called to support what my good Reverend Love Peter Thompson said. It's time that we do the Warren Conley, Jim Borden attitude where we put laws and policies in place going forward that will protect Caymanians. Like he said, I like when he said, this is the way we do it, take it or leave it. It's time that we get back to that. We have to do that. God forbid if I was to become the premier. You wake up one morning and things will be the way it should be. That's it. Let's put it in place. We don't have to. Why do we have to go to the courts to talk about us being able to walk from the street to the beach?
Yep.
That have never been before. So why it have to be now? That shouldn't be. We should just, the people that we elect should just put it in place. We don't have to get no whole bunch of people signing no petition. For what? It's not right. Do the right thing. Put it in place. You don't want to come to Cayman, you don't have to come. Matter of fact, we don't want. There was once Mr. Warren Conley once said that Cayman is not for everybody. And that not only mean the poor one, that mean the rich one too, because they're the one who's coming down here now and
they're fish that are too big for this pond.
They're too big for the pond. You got it. So that is the way it should be. So Mr. Miller, I want you to keep chipping away.
Well, that is what people say. That's the way my dearly departed parents raised me, old boy. You can't change me now.
Yeah, see what you can do with OC, so you can get him fire up there and get him.
I got him almost there. I just need a little push from you.
Yeah, I heard him say something.
Need a little push from you.
I heard him made mention to the fact that I'm now in a position that I'm now ready to do anything to support my country going forward.
He wasn't talking about joining the army, right? He was talking about joining the political front.
You guys have a good day.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
All right. Good morning, Mr. Miller.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, Mr. Miller, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I was basically just seeing it, but I couldn't believe it was really that true. I know it was really in a paper or on a paper.
Right.
But Mr. Miller, let me say it right. All of this right now is because why we don't have enough millionaires or homegrown millionaires in Cayman is because we've been held down by one main system. That one main system is the drug war, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, if you get caught with a pack of Rizzlers back in the day, you will go into court. You understand?
Yep.
If you refuse to incriminate yourself by giving a urine test, you go and get jailed. All right?
I tabled a national drug plan in 1990, which the emphasis on which was controlling drugs through demand reduction by educating people not to use them, with a rehabilitation component on it for those people who had already been hooked on it, and I got heavily criticized from it. But that's what we need. We're to the stage now where we need to at a very minimum decriminalize marijuana and clean up everybody's police record, Caymanian police records.
Yes, sir. Because number one, the main form in that drug being illegal is from a racist.
And it's money, and it's the money involved in it too.
Yeah, the money in having it both ways. The money in having it that you get locked up, the lawyer got to come check it, the judge got to go work, the police officer got to come make sure he got a handcuff on you.
Yeah, I'll never forget that one of the young people coming out of jail came to me one time and asked me if I would give him $10 for lunch, and I said, no, sir, I'm not gonna give you $10, but I go in Mango Tree for lunch, and if you come, I'll buy you lunch. And I bought him lunch, and he was hungry. He had his big soup, and he had his food, and he didn't leave very much on the plate, right? The cat would start that. But he made this comment afterwards to me, which was so true and so enlightening. He said, Mr. Miller, Cayman gone. I said, no, sir, we can still rescue it. He said, no, man, look at this. He said, I buy my drugs from a foreign man. A foreign police arrest me. I had to get a foreign lawyer to defend me before a foreign judge in court. When I go northward, I have a foreign police guard leaving me. Now that I get out after serving my time, I go to foreign and try to find a job. That encapsulates many of the problems in Cayman, eh?
Number one, and it was very successful in keeping us away from joining, like the political sector. You understand? Because we can see that you have to play a certain role in them kind of things. You understand? Like I say, it was part of a racist movement. One of the things when Kima didn't join Jamaica was what the guy said, Mr. Truman, it was to limit the access for Jamaicans to go to Cayman. You understand? So the same thing in the ganja movement is the same thing in almost saying every Jamaican smoke ganja. You understand? In having it that when you can just be looked upon, or like I say, you know, I had a police officer jump out the car, run up to me, smell my fingers in front of everybody. So.
Yeah. No.
I don't.
Anyway, we need to change the way we do things political in Cayman, and I'm going to make a concerted effort to do that for the next election. Put the power back in Caymanian hands for common folk. The fancy word for it is participatory democracy. But what it means is that people like you must have a say in any decision that any politician makes about you or for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Caller, want to thank you very, very much for that. One of our listeners has written and said, I wish Mr. Miller could hold meetings in each district about these issues. However, I know that isn't his responsibility. Then they go on to say, that said, the sad thing is that this government on paper is probably the most qualified with lots of lawyers, etc. Unfortunately, they seem not to have the concern of the average Caymanian person at heart. Paul, we have to take that break and then we will
let me respond to that so I can...
Sure, yes.
Sorry, just my ground, you say watch the space. I come into all districts here in November promoting participatory democracy and promoting the People's Party, and I'll answer any question you have on any of this stuff that's going on. So come to the meetings and hear what we have to offer.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Miller, thank you very much for being here as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I'm going to share some United Nations information with you, what they said at the 47th plenary meeting held on the 13th of December 2019 in relation to the Cayman Islands. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288. The Honeymoon Over, a CNCF production, heard on Radio Cayman Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 6:45 p.m. It's proudly sponsored by Radio Cayman, Ministry of Culture, CUC, Grape Tree Cafe, Cayman Medical Supplies, and Puritan Cleaners. Make sure and tune in. You hear?
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Paul, I'm going to take the opportunity to close the phone lines off for a few minutes because this is extremely important and I want to be able to share it with my audience without interruption. We continue to talk about the United Nations, the role of the United Nations. It is important for us to understand that role. You heard me make a call last week for someone to move a private member's motion in the Legislative Assembly asking the governor to ask the United Kingdom government to invite the Decolonization Committee to return to the Cayman Islands to alert the people, make the people of the Cayman Islands aware of the available options for the Cayman Islands as far as the United Nations Charter is concerned. We know that, 1977 was the last time that we actually had a visiting mission to Cayman. That time, basically, their whole program was railroaded because of political interference and people out there spreading false information about the whole reason for the special committee being here in the Cayman Islands. And in many areas, some districts, they were met and greeted warmly. In other districts, there was a lot of, resistance, to them and acrimony, as well. So the last report that we got on the on the Cayman Islands from the United Nations was on their 47th plenary meeting that was held on the 13th of December 2019. And I'm going to share as much of that as I can with you. It reads resolution adopted by the General Assembly on the 13th of December 2019, question of the Cayman Islands. And it says, the General Assembly, having considered the question of the Cayman Islands and examined the relevant chapters of the report of the Special Committee on the situation with regard to the implementation of the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples for 2019, taken note of the working paper prepared by the Secretariat on the Cayman Islands and other relevant information, recognizing that all available options for self-determination of the territory are valid as long as they are in accordance with the freely expressed wishes of the people of the Cayman Islands and in conformity with the clearly defined principles contained in General Assembly Resolution 1514 of 14th of December 1960 and 1541 of 15th of December 1960 and other resolutions of the Assembly. Expressing concerns. This is what the resolution says now. This is the United Nations General Assembly. Expressing concerns that 59 years after the adoption of the Declaration on the granting of independence to colonial countries and peoples, there still remain 17 non-self-governing territories, including the Cayman Islands. Conscious of the importance of continuing the effective implementation of the Declaration, taking into account the targets set by the United Nations to eradicate colonialism by 2020, and the plans of action for the second and third international decades of the eradication of colonialism. And I'm going to pause there for a second and put in my 5 cents that they use the word colonialism, and we need to understand that colonialism has many forms, many faces as well. So it's important for us to recognize that. Colonialism doesn't just have one face to it, many forms, many faces, including neocolonialism as well, a term that we use also, neocolonialism. So the United Nations General Assembly goes on and says, recognizing that the specific characteristics and the aspirations of the people of the Cayman Islands require flexible, practical, and innovative approaches to the options of self-determination without any prejudice to territorial size, geographic location, size of population, or natural resources. I'm going to read that again because this is important. What this is telling us is that there is no cookie-cutter approach to the right of self-determination for any country, and in particular the Cayman Islands, right? Recognizing that the specific characteristics and the aspirations of the people of the Cayman Islands require flexible, practical, and innovative approaches to the options for self-determination. So we have to be flexible in what we do. We have to be practical in our approach. We also have to be innovative. And what does innovative mean? Innovative means that we are now in the 21st century. So what obtained in the 20th century and the 19th century does not obtain today. We need to be innovative. We have to take an innovative approach. So it goes on to say, convinced that the wishes and aspirations of the people of the territory should continue to guide the development of their future political status, and that referendums, free and fair, elections, and other forms of popular consultations play an important role in ascertaining the wishes and aspirations of the people. I'm going to read another paragraph and then we have to take a commercial break. And when I return, we're going to continue again. Concerned by the use and exploitation of the natural resources of the non-self-governing territories by the administering powers for their benefit, by the use of the territories as international financial centers to the detriment of the world economy, and by the consequences of any economic activities of the administering power that are contrary to the interests of the people of the territories, as well as to Resolution 1514. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I will continue to share with you this resolution, this declaration made by the United Nations General Assembly in 2019. So please stay tuned.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
The Customs and Border Control Overstay Amnesty will end on October 31st. Persons who are already scheduled to depart the island may do so without seeking an extension. Persons wanting to apply for an extension can do so online by visiting www.cbc.gov.ky or by presenting themselves in person to the counter, or appointments can be made by contacting 244-3318 or emailing caymanvisa@gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm sharing with you a UN resolution on the Cayman Islands that was adopted in December of 2019, 13th of December 2019, in relation to the Cayman Islands after the report that was submitted by the UN Special Committee on Decolonization. So it goes on to read, the resolution goes on to say, convinced that any negotiation to determine the status of the territory must take place with the active involvement and participation of the people of the territory under the auspices of the United Nations on a case-by-case basis, and that the views of the people of the Cayman Islands in respect of their right to self-determination should be ascertained. Now, there's only one way for, there are several ways for that to be ascertained, but if it's going to take place under the auspices of the United Nations, we need to have the committee return to the Cayman Islands and to observe what is happening now, as well as to tell us what the options are in the 21st century as well. Noting the continued cooperation of the non-self-governing territories at the local and regional levels, including participation in the work of regional organizations, mindful that in order for the special committee to enhance its understanding of the political status of the people of the Cayman Islands and to fulfill its mandate effectively, it is important for it to be appraised by the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland as the administering power and to receive information from other appropriate sources, including the representatives of the territories, concerning the wishes and aspirations of the people of the territory. So not only it is the responsibility of the administering power, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, but also representatives of the territory to provide information concerning the wishes and aspirations of the people of the territory. So let's not lay this only on the shoulders of the United Kingdom. Locally, we have a responsibility as well. And that is why I believe that it is important for a private member's motion to be moved in the Legislative Assembly to invite the special committee to return to the Cayman Islands. The resolution goes on to say, aware of the importance both of the Cayman Islands and to the special committee of the participation of elected and appointed representatives of the Cayman Islands in the work of the committee. What it is saying here is that our appointed and elected representatives in the Cayman Islands have a role to play in the work of the special committee. My question is, are we playing that role and are we playing it effectively? Resolution goes on to say, recognizing the need for the special committee to ensure that the appropriate bodies of the United Nations actively pursue a public awareness campaign aimed at assisting the people of the Cayman Islands with their inalienable right to self-determination and in gaining a better understanding of the options for self-determination in a case-by-case basis. Hence, again, my call for us to invite them back. Mindful in that connection that the holding of regional seminars in the Caribbean and Pacific regions and at headquarters with the active participation of representatives of the non-self-governing territories provides a helpful means for the special committee to fulfill its mandate, and that the regional nature of the seminars, which alternate between the Caribbean and the Pacific, is a crucial element in the context of a United Nations program for ascertaining the political status of the territories. Welcoming the Caribbean Regional Seminar on the theme Implementation of the Third International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism, Accelerating Decolonization through Renewed Commitment and Pragmatic Measures, held by the Special Committee in Grenada, and hosted by the Government of Grenada from the 2nd to the 4th of May 2019 as a significant and forward-looking event which enabled the participants to assess progress made and address challenges faced in the decolonization process, review the existing working methods of the committee, and renew its commitment to implementing its historical task. Recognizing the importance of the conclusions and the recommendations adopted by the seminar, which are annexed to the report of the Special Committee and which outlines the findings of the seminar, including especially the way forward for decolonization process within the context of the proclamation by the General Assembly of the period 2011 to 2020 as the Third International Decade for Eradication of Colonialism. Noting with appreciation the contribution to the development of some territories by the specialized agencies and other organizations of the United Nations system, in particular the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, that is known as ECLAC, the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, the United Nations Development Program, and the World Food Program, as well as regional institutions such as the Caribbean Development Bank, the Caribbean Community, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the Pacific Islands Forum, and the agencies of the Council of Regional Organizations in the Pacific, recalling the statement made by the honorary representative of the territorial government at the 2010 Pacific Region Seminar held in Nome. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but anyway. Noting with serious concerns that the territory has last participated in the activities of the Special Committee in 2010. Folks, I'm going to read that. I'm going to repeat that for you. Noting with serious concern that the territory that they're talking about is the Cayman Islands. That the territory, so I'm going to replace that. Noting that with serious concern that the Cayman Islands last participated in the activities of the Special Committee in 2010. 10 years ago, folks, since we have participated in anything. Is that showing an interest in knowing what the United Nations is all about and what the options are, and as such, educating our people to those options by, in the last 10 years, not being even participating in the activities of the Special Committee? The resolution goes on to say, aware of the work in accordance with the 2009 Constitution of the Constitutional Commission, which serves as an advisory body on constitutional matters, and aware also that the territorial government proposed constitutional changes to the administering power, stressing the importance of regional ties for the development of a small island territory, cognizant of the territory's membership in the Caribbean Overseas Countries and Territories Council, recalling the general election that was held in May of 2017, reaffirming the inalienable right of the people of the Cayman Islands to self-determination in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations and with General Assembly Resolution 1514, containing the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples, also reaffirms that in the process of decolonization of the Cayman Islands, there is no alternative to the principle of self-determination, which is also a fundamental human right as recognized under the relevant Human Rights Convention. So, folks, did you hear that? They have reaffirmed that in the process of decolonization of the Cayman Islands, there is no alternative to the principle of self-determination. Folks, no alternative to the principle of self-determination. If we don't have that, there is no alternative to it whatsoever. Further reaffirms that it is ultimately the people of the Cayman Islands to determine freely their future political status in accordance with the relevant provisions of the Charter, the Declaration, and the relevant resolutions of the General Assembly, and in that connection calls upon the administering power in cooperation with the territorial government and appropriate bodies of the United Nations system to develop political education programs for the territory in order to foster an awareness amongst the people of their right to self-determination in conformity with the legitimate political status options based on the principles clearly defined in Assembly Resolution 1541 and other relevant resolutions and decisions. Recalls the 2009 Constitution of the Cayman Islands and stresses the importance of the work of the Constitutional Commission, including the work on human rights education. Requests the administering power to assist the territory by facilitating its work concerning public education outreach efforts consistent with Article 73B of the Charter, and in that regard calls upon the relevant United Nations organizations to provide assistance to the territories if requested. Folks, if we want it, we have to ask for it. Welcomes the active participation of the territory in the work of the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, like I said, also known as ECLAC, stresses that the territory should continue to participate in the activities of the Special Committee on the situation with regard to the implementation of the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to colonial countries and peoples, including regional seminars, in order to provide the committee with up-to-date information regarding the decolonization process. Have to take a commercial break. When we return, I will complete this for you. I hope and I trust that those who are listening, it is extremely educational, and I'll tell you where you can find it. If you want to read it yourself, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Stronger, wider, higher, lighter. The all-new Ford Ranger Raptor.
Powerfully built with a 2.0 diesel Panther engine and 210 horsepower. Modern with leather interior and 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 3 technology and power features. Tough, built to handle the off-road with 4-wheel drive, terrain modes, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Coming early October to Vamped Motors, Walkers Road. To find out more and to test drive the bold new Ford Ranger Raptor, visit Vamped Motors, Walkers Road, or call 949-8288.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
No, man. My bills seem huge again, and I don't know what to do about it. I gotta look some help.
We can help. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure has teamed up with CUC to give you the chance to win a home energy makeover worth up to $20,000. Not only will this lower your utility bills, it will increase your home's value. We are also giving away 8 home energy audits worth up to $1,900 each. Open to all homeowners in Grand Cayman. Entry is now open via www.energy.gov.ky/competition. Proudly sponsored by CEL Cooling, Mitsubishi, Phone Pros, Cooling Pros, and more. Use less, save more. Enter today.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. I have closed the phone lines off because I wanted to share with you, this UN resolution on the Cayman Islands that came as a result of the report of the Special Committee to the United Nations plenary session on the 13th of December, 2019. And there are many things in this declaration that the United Nations has said. I read Declaration number 8 for you before, but I'm going to read it again. There are just a few more left to be done. It says, also stresses the importance of the special committee being appraised of the views and wishes of the people of the Cayman Islands and enhancing its understanding of their conditions, including the nature and scope of the existing political and constitutional arrangements between the Cayman Islands and the administering power. I'm going to just go back to the first part of that. The importance of the special committee being appraised of the views and wishes of the people of the Cayman Islands. Now, right now, the views and wishes of the people of the Cayman Islands are expressed in the report on the Cayman Islands that we send to the United Kingdom, who in turn transmit that information to the United Nations as far as their obligations are concerned. The question is, how much do the people of the Cayman Islands get to have an input in what the report that the Cayman Islands prepares here to send to the UK? Do we have public meetings? Do we hear the views? Or do we just simply go based on, what we know? If you have an interest in it, you can go back and look at some of those reports and see whether or not they express or they reflect your thoughts and aspirations as well. Resolution number 9 calls upon the administering power to participate in and cooperate fully with the work of the Special Committee in order to implement the provisions of Article 73E of the Charter and the Declaration, and in order to advise the Committee on the implementation of the provisions of Article 73B of the Charter on efforts to promote self-government in the Cayman Islands and encourage the administering power to facilitate visiting and special missions to the territory. So, those of you who are concerned about colonial overreach, administrative overreach, the UK's overreach in certain areas of activity in the Cayman Islands, you have an opportunity to do that. But that opportunity has to come by way of having input to your government to say, this is what we want you to do. Otherwise, than having the special members of the special committee come to the Cayman Islands and you be able to express your views, just like some people did in 1977. Declaration number 10 reaffirms the responsibility of the administering power under the Charter to promote the economic and social development and to preserve the cultural identity of the territory. Question, I'm going to stop there for a minute. Preserve the cultural identity of the territory. If we allow Brits and other persons with no connections to the Cayman Islands who are just simply residing here or working here, not only to vote but to hold public office, won't that threaten the cultural identity of the territory? Question. That's it. The resolution goes on to say, those were my questions, not the United Nations, and request the administering power to take steps to enlist and make effective use of all possible assistance on both a bilateral and multilateral basis in the strengthening of the economy of the territory. Declaration resolution number 11 takes into account the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including the Sustainable Development Goals, stresses the importance of fostering the economic and social sustainable development of the territory by promoting sustained, inclusive, and equitable economic growth, creating greater opportunities for all, reducing inequalities. Repeat that one, folks. Reducing inequalities, because there are many who believe that Caymanians are second-class citizens in their own country, raising basic standards of living, while we, these are my words, while we boast of having the highest standard of living in the Cayman Islands, I believe that if we were to take proper measure, we may find that in the Cayman Islands, some may be living below the poverty line as well. So, raising basic standards of living, fostering equitable social development and inclusion, and promoting the integrated and sustainable management of natural resources and ecosystems that support inter alia economic, social, and human development, while facilitating ecosystem conservation, regeneration, restoration, and resilience in the face of new and emerging challenges, and strongly urges the administering power to refrain from undertaking any kind of illicit, harmful, and unproductive activities, including the use of the territory as an international financial center that are not aligned with the interests of the people of the territory. And number 12, requests the territory and the administering power to take all measures necessary to protect and conserve the environment of the territory against any degradation, and once again requests the specialized agencies concerned to monitor environmental conditions in the territory and to provide assistance to the territory consistent with their prevailing rules and procedures. And finally, requests the special committee to continue to examine the question of the Cayman Islands and to report thereon to the General Assembly at its 75th session and on the implementation of the present resolution. This was the 47th plenary session, 20th of December 2019. Let's see what happens from there. But folks, you have an opportunity to ensure what happens from there by pushing for a private member's motion in the Legislative Assembly to request the administering power, the United Kingdom, to ask the United Nations, of which they are a member, to provide us with a visit from the special committee so that we can talk about and get knowledge on the options available to the Cayman Islands. And that option does not necessarily have to be independence. Folks, please understand that. That option does not have to be independence, because in one of these resolutions, it talks about the various options that are available, especially in the 21st century as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity. Because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. And before I say the rest to you, I want to say that if you're interested in reading this resolution, you can just simply Google resolution adopted by the General Assembly on the 13th of December 2019. That will avoid you having to navigate the United Nations website, because it can be difficult at times. So just simply Google resolution adopted by the General Assembly on the 13th of December 2019, questions of the Cayman Islands. And again, we want to say a big happy birthday to Miss Sadie Chalette this morning. Today, she is 83 years of age. Miss Sadie, have a wonderful, wonderful, enjoyable day as well. Folks, I want to say to you as well, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands, and you all have a great day as well. Join Sterling Dweeney Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today also.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. And the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure. Visit energy.gov.ky/competition to win a home energy makeover worth up to